believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. But it's time. What's up, guys? This has been a long time coming. This has been a long time coming. I've been pushing off doing this video for months, like months. I just kept running from being vulnerable, being this vulnerable, with such a big platform. Like I've been pushing off for months. But I feel like now is the time. A lot of you guys may not know me. We're gonna get to an introduction soon. But I just I felt it in my heart right here in this moment to make this video. I feel like now was the right time. Now was the perfect time to start. So, I thought about how I wanted to start, what I wanted to start, what direction I wanted to go into. And I said, why not why not start by telling my story? So it's time. It's time. And I honestly feel like it's gonna help somebody, whether it reach one person or a million people, it don't matter. I feel like it's gonna resonate and it's gonna help somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at that place. I'm comfortable enough. Um, I'm secure with myself in this moment. It's been a journey. It has been a journey. I've been fighting demons shit my whole life. I've literally been fighting demons my entire life. Generational traumas, the normal shit that we go through on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Not all of us know how to deal with them, and not all of us know how to cope. That was one of my issues. I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know how to cope with my issues. But we're gonna get there. I wanted to start this video in a safe space. I thought about where I wanted to start the video, how I wanted to start it. I wanted to rent out a whole production studio and record it there with the lights and the mic and everything and the people. But I said, you know what? I want this first video to be very raw, uncut, unfiltered. Because I'm like I say, I'm at the point where I'm ready to kind of like tell my story. I'm ready to let some of the layers down. God has been pushing me to do this video for months. And I just kept pushing off and kept pushing off. And he finally broke me. I was broken, completely broken. And I had no choice but to surrender. I had to surrender. I had to get down. I had to cry it out. I had to surrender. I had to give up all control. And I'm an alpha male. So it's very hard for me to give up control. It's very hard. But I threw my hands up. I threw my hands up. So this is going to be a very raw, unfiltered video. This is going to be a video that most of you probably have never seen me do. But this won't be the last one. I'm in a space and a place right now to where I know what my purpose is, and I know it's time for me to it's time for me to talk. It's time for me to talk, and it's time for me, like I said, it's time for me to tell my story. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Demi, Demi Cortez, Demi, whichever one you want to do. You want to go by for the most part. I'm an esthetician in Atlanta, skincare therapist, whatever you want to call it, based out of Atlanta. I've been in business for a little over 10 years now. It has been a journey. I'm gonna be totally transparent. It has been a journey getting to this space. I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what I was doing. But I knew God led me on this journey for a reason. And we're gonna get to that reason. We're gonna get to that reason. But I knew God led me on this specific journey for a reason. because I was praying, God, what is my purpose? Like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I here for? What am I, what am I here for? What am I doing? That was always the question that was in the back of my mind. What am I here for? What am I doing? What is my purpose? What is my purpose? And I could never figure it out until it hit me. And once it hit me, everything else just started to sink in, and the doors just started to open. It just started to open. Certain doors just started to open. Certain synchronicities started to come into play. Certain signs were much more visible. I really had to just become quiet, cut off all the distractions, literally sit with yourself, quiet all the distractions off, and listen and have a conversation with God. That's honestly what I had to do. And that's hard for me to do. That was very hard for me to do. It was quite hard. But we're gonna dial it back. We're gonna dial it back because I want to get there. We're gonna dial it back. We're gonna I want to take y'all to the backstory, to the beginning, a little bit. Like I said, I've been in a position for almost 10, 11 years now. My 20s, I was so lost. I was so lost. My entire 20s, like a lot of 20 years old, a lot of 20-year-olds are very lost and confused. Um, I didn't know if I was going or coming, honestly. I had no direction. I always, kept a job and things like that, but I had no purpose. I had no purpose. And that used to eat me up. It used to eat me alive because I always knew that I was destined. I always knew I was destined for greatness. I'm gonna put that out there. I always knew I was destined for greatness. I always knew there was a higher calling on my life. I just did not know, one, how to get there, how to identify it, what it looked like, which steps I needed to take to get on the right path. I didn't know any of that at that point. I didn't know any of that. So my 20s were really difficult. Um, I went through a lot. I went through a lot in my 20s. So many lessons. I have no regrets, but so many lessons. So many lessons. Uh, we're not gonna do this. I got out of crying out the way earlier. We're not gonna do this. All right. We're gonna keep it a G. We're gonna keep it G. But I went through so many lessons. Um, so many trials and tribulations. So many trials. And I was constantly tested all the time. I was constantly tested. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do other than I didn't know my purpose. I didn't have anything going for myself outside of just working a 9 to 5. I was so unfulfilled with life. I literally tried to end it all. And that was one of my lowest points. That was one of my lowest points. I'm able to speak about it now because, like I said, I know it's going to help somebody. I don't know who it's going to reach. I don't know who it's going to reach, but it's going to help somebody. You get to your lowest points and you have no direction and you feel like it's nowhere to go and you just ready to just give up because it's like, what the fuck? What am I? That's how I felt. Not one, not two, 3 times. 3 times I thought about suicide. 3 times I thought about suicide. Twice I actually attempted it. And it was the most traumatic experience. Traumatic. I'm talking about the ambulance ride, the hospital, pumping up the stomach, taking these fluids, taking this nasty medicine, being in a psych ward. I'm like, what is going? I'm like, that was my life. That was my life. And not a lot of people knew. Because like I said, I'm a very private person. I've always been a pretty private person. I have a very close-knit group of friends. But I'm a very private person. So a handful of people know about the first one. No one knew about the second attempt. No one knew about the second one. I literally went through that one alone. but I needed to, because I needed to feel that. I needed to feel that. I really needed to feel that because I was so lost, and no one would have known. I still went up, got up every day and went to work. You know, still smiling, kiki with my friends, like everything was fine, like most of us do. Paint on this happy, pretty picture, like everything is fine. When in reality, we are so broken and so broken, so broken. Oh my God, it's so broken. But I rose from that. I rose from that occasion. Each time, I continue to fight. You know, I'm a fighter. Like, you know, that's what I do. That's what I know to do. I'm a fight. That's all I know to do. Survive and fight. That's all I knew. That's all. That was my life. Survival and fighting. That's it. That was my life. That was my life. That's all I knew to do. And drink. I didn't do drugs too heavy. My vice was drinking. That's all I did. Survive, fought, and drink. That's all I did. I became numb. I became so numb to reality, to what was really going on. I was so numb. And then I look back, it was one of the lowest points of my life. It was one of the lowest points. But I got through it. I got through it. I got through it. Because you know what? God never left my side. Each time, each situation, God was always there. He always, I got to the edge, but he said, reel it back in, reel it back in, reel it back in, reel it back in, reel it back in. You got a purpose, you got a purpose, you got a purpose, you got a purpose. I'm like, what? Just let me go. Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? But I didn't. I couldn't see it. I was so lost. I had no relationship with God. I had no relationship with God. No relationship. No relationship. No relationship at all. So, you know, I found my way to the aesthetics. You know, I finally, you know, felt something that I was passionate about, something that I felt was purposeful. I was like, oh, aesthetics. I can do facials. That'll be nice. I said, it looks fun. Not knowing, not knowing how this industry was going to change my life. Honestly, change my life. Not knowing. So I went through my program and, you know, finished my classes, you know, went through the things, and I reached another point of feeling just after graduating school. I'm like, okay, so now what? Couldn't find a job. There weren't any opportunities for Black male estheticians back then. We didn't have the salon suites and the salon lofts, and we didn't have all of that. So it was like, okay, what you do now? You're back to feeling purposeless. You like, what do you do now? Like, you back at square one. Find a job, but I did not give up hope. I did not give up hope. I said, I'm gonna figure out my way in this industry some way, somehow. Some way, somehow. I'm gonna figure out my way because I knew it was a purpose for my life. I just did not know what it was. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was at all. And that was the hardest part. That was the hardest part. So, you know, time passed, went through some things, you know, had a job, worked at this job, moved up fairly quickly in the job. Some of y'all have probably seen me at the job. It was a very popular retail store in Atlanta. I'm pretty much at every location. But, you know, that came to a halt because that's when my awakening started to happen. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it. I just felt like, oh my God, here we go again. I'm like, here we go again. What is going on? I lost the job. Everything started to go downhill. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, what is going on? I had built up, elevated in this company, and it was all taken from me. And I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I'm in my late 20s at this point. So I'm pushing 30. So I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What is going on? What is going on? But God said, stop. He said, stop. He said, stop fighting. Stop fighting. He said, stop fighting. I said, okay. I said, okay. I said, I'm gonna listen. I said, I'm gonna listen. So I started to listen. And he started to open up doors for me and opportunities for me that led me to my aesthetics career, that led me on the path that I'm on right now. And it was the best and the scariest decision that I ever made. It was the best and scariest decision that I ever made. Starting my aesthetics career when I started it. Because if I would have started it before, I don't think I would have been mentally prepared for what all comes with this responsibility that he's led me to. Because it's not it's it's not an easy task. When you're chosen, when you feel like when God chooses you, and he says, this is going to be your purpose. This is what I want you to start doing. This is how I want you to help people. This is how I want people to see you. It's not an easy task to take in. You know what I mean? Like, it's not an easy task because it's like, what? Me? You want me to do what? You want me to start talking about my life and start trying to impact people and make a difference in other people's lives? And you want me to start doing what? I said, me? I said, this is what you want me to do? I said, so I ran. I ran from the I ran. I tried to run as long as I can. I tried to run. I tried to run from into other directions, but he always drew me back in. He always drew me back in. He always drew me back in. So after losing the job that I lost, as I figure out my life and where I'm going and what I got going on, I met someone. I met someone who was very pivotal in my journey, in my self-discovery journey. I met someone, and he really just instilled a level of self-worth that I had never experienced. And it really changed my outlook on everything. It changed my outlook on everything. I had never had anyone in my corner the way this particular person was. And I had never had anyone believe in me like this particular person did. So I feel like God puts people in your life for certain reasons and certain purpose. It's a purpose. Everything happens for a reason. Nothing just happens. Everything happens for a reason. So he put someone in my life that would help me start to see my potential. And that's exactly what started to happen. So I started to see my potential. I started to work toward my craft. I started to work toward my career. And, I started slowly taking steps into my aesthetics career. And I started to feel a sense of purpose. I started to feel a sense of belonging. And I started to feel like I was actually making a difference. Okay. So we're gonna pause it right there. We're gonna pause it right there because all of this happened, this self-discovery, all of this happened within like a 3-year time span. It's like my life was here and then it just started to go it just started to elevate. And I'm like, this is all going and happening so fast. It was happening so fast. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to take all of this in. And I started to have panic attacks. I started to be mentally drained. I slowly went into a depression because I'm like, okay, you put all of this on my shoulders and I don't know how to deal with, I don't know how to deal with all of this. Like, I don't know how to deal with all of this. I was in a relationship at the time. I'm trying to run my business. I'm trying to make sure everything is still straight, with my clients. I'm trying to do all these things. New entrepreneur. Like I had so much going on. I'm like, I'm trying, I can't, I needed an escape. So I reverted back to, you know, the demons, I like to call them. I reverted back to the demons. Drinking, drugs, infidelity, all of the things. You know what I'm saying? Like because I was trying to escape reality. I was literally trying to escape reality. It was it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. It was a lot to take in. It was a lot to take in. So, I got into my fight and survival mode like I always do. Got into my fight and survival mode. I said, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna figure this out, I'm gonna work this out, I'm gonna figure this out like I always do. But I was missing all of the signs that God was sending me. He was sending me so many signs, but I was not connected. I was not connected with God at all. I was not connected at all. So I was missing all of the signs that He was sending me. All of the signs. So I had to literally pretty much almost lose it all. Almost lose it all. Almost lose it all to become back connected with God the way I needed to be connected. I had to almost lose it all. And it's sad that we have to get so low. It's sad that we have to get so low before we just really sit down and start listening to God and what He's telling us to do and what the calling that He has on our life and the path that He's laid out for us. We so busy worrying about everything else that's going on that we can't see the path that He is laying out for us. He can't see it because we so busy worrying about everything else and doing everything else and numbing the pain and being in survival mode. Honestly, being in survival mode. Because when you're in survival mode, you literally can't think about nothing else but survival and surviving. That's the only thing you can think about. That's the only thing you can think about. So He said, "All right, I'm gonna break you all the way down." And this was last year. He said, "I'm going to break you all the way down." He said, "I'm gonna break you all the way down and make you listen. I'm gonna make you listen. I'm going to make you listen." I said, "Okay." I had to surrender. I had to surrender. I had to give up all control. I had to give up all control. And once I did, everything started to shift. Everything started to shift. I had a whole new purpose in life. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like what I'm doing, I had a new purpose in life. When I meet certain people through my business, you know, sometimes it's an instant connection. And sometimes I meet people and I don't know what type of energy I have or I don't know what's going on. But sometimes I meet people and they just start laying all their burdens out on me. Like they just started talking and just everything they going through, everything like they just start spilling everything out. And I'm just taking this in like, wow. And we start talking, like we casually start talking. I'm like, wow, you're going through some of the same shit I'm going through right now. Like you're going through some of the same shit. And it's client after client. You we be so in sync, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm like, we would talk and have our conversations, and we get through the service, and some clients end up leaving crying and in tears. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, I'm having this type of effect on people. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, okay, this is some next level type stuff. Like I never thought someone having a conversation with me would have that type of effect to where, they leave, whether they're feeling better in tears or they, was able to get something off their chest that, they felt like they weren't able to talk to, anyone, and they felt so open to be vulnerable with me. And sometimes first time meeting me. And I'm like, what is this about? And I never forget the one client that changed my entire, he really changed my life, honestly. He really changed my life. And at that point, I knew I was operating in my purpose. Doing facials, doing services, helping people out, helping people achieve, their goals, and helping people, clear up their skin and do whatever they have going on. Sometimes it's having a conversation with people in that moment. You never know how it may change their life, how it may change their life. Helping them with their issues changes their life. I had this one client. I would never forget this client. I would never forget him. I would never forget him. He came in, he had some acne issues. And he said, Demi, you don't even understand. This is the first time I've met him. This is the first time we're meeting. He said, Demi, you don't even understand. Like I wanted to commit suicide because I'm so upset with my skin. Like I'm so upset with my skin. When the fact that he felt so vulnerable to tell me that, like you opened that up to me, not even knowing that I've tried to commit suicide multiple times because I felt like I was just at my lowest and just at my what ends with life. But the fact that you felt so vulnerable with telling me that, like it honestly did something to me. It awakened a spirit that I did not know I had in me, and it opened it awakened like it awakened something in me. It awakened because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't take it in. And the fact that he was so vulnerable, mind you, this dude was younger. This dude was much younger than me. Much younger. So for him to be that young and that vulnerable with a total stranger, when here I am, half much older, and not even able to be vulnerable with people, you know what I'm saying, about what I've gone through, what I've experienced. I'm like, nah. I said, it's deeper than just facials. I was like, it's deeper than just the services I provide. I was like, it's something deeper that I'm doing. And when they started coming, like person after person, like people would just come to me and just start laying on it and just started, like me and some of my clients would literally be having therapy healing sessions. Literally. Therapy healing sessions. We literally be healing each other through and through. And it feels so good. It feels so good to be able to help someone who may feel like they have nobody else to talk to. They don't have, what I'm saying, nobody else to turn to. And for them to feel that vulnerable, telling me what's going on with their husband, what's going on with their kids, what's going on with them parents, what's going on in their life. Like it it lets me know that I'm walking in my purpose, and it lets me know. It lets me know that I'm valued, something that I had never felt before. Like I had never felt valued. But when God led me on this path, He said, you're going to help people, you're going to service people, and you're going to be an asset to people. And that's all I do. That's all, at this point, that's all I want to do. That's what brings me the most joy. I feel like now I have a purpose. I feel like I'm here for a reason. And it's all because of God. I had to sit down. I had to listen. I had to be still. I had to stop fighting the urges to try and control everything. Because He's in control. I don't control nothing. He's in control at all times. At all times, He's in control. When we give up that control, when we give up that power, baby, the doors open. The doors are opening. The doors are opening. It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to be the first to tell you. It's not going to be easy. But when you give up that power and surrender to God, like everything, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. You feel so fulfilled in whatever you're doing. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what you got going on. Get a connection with God. He's gonna see you through everything that you got going on. He's gonna see you through it. He's gonna see you through it. All you gotta do is surrender and listen. Give up control. That's it. That's it. Give up that control. Give up that control. So I don't wanna be on here carrying too long. I just wanted to start, telling my story. Um, I'm in a good space mentally. Um, I'm coming into a whole new purpose in life. I'm coming into a whole new life. Like, and this is just the beginning of what God has in store for me. And I keep saying that because we see things and we have visions and we have dreams and aspirations, but when they start to become super vivid and super clear, that's how you know you're close to your breakthrough. Close to your breakthrough. You just gotta continue to do the work. Continue to do the work. Stay in faith and continue to do the work. I promise you, it's gonna turn around. It is going to turn around. Things are going to get. You are gonna come out of that storm. That storm. And listen, that storm is hell. When you go through that storm is hell. But you have to lean on your support. That's something I had to realize. I had to realize people love me. I honestly had to realize it because I didn't think that. I didn't think it. I didn't believe it. Um, I had to realize that people love me. I have people in my corner who are riding for me, who are praying for me. You know what I'm saying? And anytime the lows get heavy, I can depend on them. And that's the same thing you gotta do. The storm is gonna come. It's gonna get heavy. You got to depend on your people. You got to depend on your support system. You can't do it alone. We cannot do it alone. We can't. God sent people in our life for a reason. And you know the good ones. You know the ones to keep, and you know the ones that you need to throw away. You know the difference. So you gotta hold on to the ones that you need to keep. Hold on to the ones that's in your corner. And pray and get ready for better days because they're coming. They are coming. They are coming. I hope this video reaches somebody. I hope it touches somebody. This is just a part of my story. Um, Like I said, I've had a very eventful life up to this part. And I'm in a place, so I'm gonna be sharing more of my story and more of my testimony and more things I've went through because people need to hear it. People need to hear it. People need to know that you're not going through things alone. People see us and individuals and feel like they got everything together and oh, their life is so amazing. Life falling apart. Life is in shambles. Life is falling apart and life is in shambles, but we get up and we handle business and we do what we got to do because that's what we're trained to do. That's what we conditioned to do. We're not conditioned to be vulnerable. We're not conditioned or trained to be weak or show fear or show, not even show empathy at times. We're not taught that. We're not taught that. We're not taught that. But I'm embracing all of that. I'm embracing my vulnerability. I'm embracing fear. I'm embracing it all. So like I said, I hope this video reaches somebody. I hope this video touches somebody. You are not alone. We got this. We're gonna get through this. Peace and love, people.